So we're just done with headlines and we're coming back. And this is our kind of what we're watching, Hallyujuku Talks section. In this section, we should be talking about Air City, but we're not done with Air City yet. Wait your fucking turn. It's a series. There's more than one episode. You gotta sometimes you take a break in between shit. So, because of my neglect and stupidity and having watched a movie and forgetting to tell Petey that it existed in the world, a movie that we were both very excited for, The Commitment, starring T.O.P from Big Bang, is and has been on Netflix for a few months now. I watched it as soon as that shit was on there. And at this point, I watched it twice. And Petey, the other day, in his excitement, was like, the T.O.P movie is on Netflix. And I was like, I watched it.
I got excited. I was like, I haven't been on Netflix in a while. I was like, what? What is this shit?
I had the same reaction. I was like, oh my God, I really need to. Is that T.O.P? I'm watching this shit right now. like that was my reaction to seeing this. All right, focus. Right. So this movie is a movie that me and Pete were really, really excited to see, and we're kind of waiting for, and we're going to figure out a way to see it. But luckily, legitimacy fucking reigns its beautiful fucking face into the world, and we watched it on Netflix. As the thing as that me and Petey both pay. I know I'm pointing over here, and I know most of you know my computer is generally here, but I watch a lot of Netflix on my PlayStation, which is there.
Yeah.
So fucking focus. God damn it. I keep talking about focus.
Yes.
So let's talk about this movie, The Commitment, starring T.O.P. I'll give us a brief synopsis. T.O.P plays a spy for the North Korea who is more or less forced to go and complete a mission for them in the understanding that if he does this, he's free, and as is his sister. The movie is really, really good. It's really, really well acted and well directed by Hong Soo Park, who's the director of this movie. I don't know who the girl is. And this is where Petey comes in and says who the girl is.
I think it's Han Ye-ri who plays the young girl.
Right. We don't see a lot of her throughout the movie. It's really mainly focused on T.O.P and the action. Oh my God, the action! Did I say there was action in this movie? Because there is.
Action.
I don't know.
Yeah. A lot of fun. It is, so T.O.P has his sister in his, North Korean labor camp. And then on his mission in South Korea, he meets a young girl, who's kind of, the target of bullies at school, cause he's posing as a student, who shares the name of his sister. They're both Lee.
Yes.
And kind of is drawn to her just by the fact that she's kind of a kid getting beat up on and bullied. And he almost kind of feels like somebody who feels trapped in a situation, people that he feels helpless because he's been beat up and bullied by, his country. He feels this kinship and a friendship. But he also has some killing to do that he has to do. He has to shoot people and fight people. And you talked about the action. The fight choreography in this movie is intense. It gets once they get into a fight, it's like
the fights are the thing I loved about them is they're not action movie fights. They're pretty hardcore, intense, like, I gotta take this motherfucker out type of fights, which is what a fight would really be in a situation like that of like two highly trained killers. It's like, I gotta wreck this dude really quickly before he does the same to me. And it is just one of those things that is really, really good. And a lot of the other things is like kind of over the top and silly, where it's just like sometimes some of the killings are really just really out in the open.
Yeah.
And you're just like, just kill people in a public, like, fucking square and walked away like it was nothing, you know?
Yeah.
But other than that, I thought the movie was really good. Top. The more and more I see of Top's acting, and now we have this comparison, right? Because you've watched Iris, right? Which is like kind of Top's first really throws into acting, and he's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing to write home about.
He doesn't play a complex character though. He kind of he does his job well, but he does. Compared to this, he's definitely grown a lot as an actor. I was able to mentally not hold that grudge that I had from Iris. You know, I didn't celebrate him. Spoiler alert! Dying at the end. I mean, there was a part of me that wanted to go, "That was for Yuki," but no, I didn't say that. Yuki. Right. I didn't. I sympathized with the character, and I understood there was a tender moment, and this is not that guy. But still, Yuki. Why you have to kill Yuki?
And he now Top is also, he's not playing the most complex character in the world. He's just playing a dude who's willing to do whatever it takes to get his sister back, to get what's left of his family back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And even the interaction between him and the girl isn't necessarily a love story. It's just a like he has that need to protect, you know, and he just wants to be a big brother. That's what he wants, and you know that's what he's kind of doing throughout this movie. Like, I initially thought it was going to be a love story, but he is just being like a loving big brother throughout the whole movie, and it's really all it is.
Yeah, is this similar to kind of the Man from Nowhere? I like Netflix. Just like Netflix shows you, it's recommended based on your interest in the Man from Nowhere. In that kind of, it's more of a familiar relationship. Like you see that moment where he's filling out that form and he says, "Ideho, relationship oppa," relationship brother. It's like, because that's kind of how he's starting to feel about this young girl, because of that sympathy and that kind of finding a little bit of his actual sister in her while he's stuck on this mission. I think it's very interesting and fun. It's not the most it's not Citizen Kane, It's not a cinema classic, but it does evoke a lot of cool emotions. It lets characters be complex. I do love because one could easily expect anything like Korean that when deals with North Koreans to make all the North Koreans look like silly cartoon villains, like everything Cuban American comedians and people do to Fidel Castro here. But the fact that you have these characters that you understand their motivations as human beings, and they're kind of, no matter how you feel it may be misguided, their loyalty to their country and to to their movement, you still see that, and it's kind of cool and interesting to see that. And it's all that, like I said, that's one of the main reasons I was interested in seeing the movie. Is always those, like, the North Korean spy stuff, and like the North, how they have these different characters, and it's like all through the prism of some people who maybe not have a tangential connection, kind of are only slightly closer observers, even though they are still looking at it on from the outside. It's still interesting. but yeah, I think overall a fantastic movie. Yeah, and yeah, did it live up to your expectations of the movie when you first saw it?
It did and it didn't, right? Like I kind of expected a little more story overall.
Yeah,
I didn't expect it to be such a simple plot. Like there's not a lot of complexity to it. It's they want the diamonds, and everyone else wants to get either the fuck out of North Korea or gain more power in North Korea. You know, of your protagonist. Your protagonist and antagonist in the movies, right? Of the main ones. And then it's the cop who's trying to figure out the plot, which happens to be kind of a consistency in a lot of Korean like things, which is the cop who's trying to figure out the plot.
Yeah.
Because he knows there's more to this story than what's going on, you know, but he's always a step behind. You know.
Yeah, it could have used a little more. It could have used a little more complexity in the story. I think if we can summarize it, it's fantastic action, fantastic fighting. I think it's very Bourne-esque. I think the Bourne series is definitely an inspiration for this. And you know, like the gritty combat and things like that, you know, just the fun action and kind of the stoic protagonist and whatnot, who's a couple of steps ahead in so many situations. And I think that's the main thing. The acting is really done well for what it needs to be. And I think the emotions carry around well. I don't know if I was necessarily pulled emotionally in any particular direction as much as I just kind of enjoyed the thrill ride. I think it may have tried to pull me in some ways emotionally, but I don't think it really worked, on that level, but, it was definitely an enjoyable thrill ride. I think. How would you summarize your thoughts on the movie?
My thoughts summarize kind of the same. It's an enjoyable thrill ride. I enjoyed what I watched, like definitely, and it's something I could watch again feasibly. Like I wouldn't have a problem watching this movie 3 more goddamn times because I enjoyed the acting of it. I enjoyed the action as well, but. Yeah, I wish there was a bit more to the plot. I wish it wasn't so simplistic. And, you know, I love movies that don't always have a happy ending. You know.
Yeah, and I think it doesn't have a perfectly happening. It does have a little bit of happiness, but not for the, you know, main protagonist, you know, that not for Top. At least not in the sense that he gets to live it. Right. Spoilers. Again, back to Iris. This time it's a little less random, but back to Iris. But I think that's our thoughts. We both kind of dug it. It's a fun action thrill ride, but not terribly deep. But exciting. Kind of like I was gonna say the Clippers. But I can't say that for sure. Exciting, but not very deep. But yeah, go check it out. It's on Netflix. It's a fun Netflix watch. It's a fun late night Netflix watch.
I already started watching it.
Yeah, it's a fun late night Netflix watch. Just like, you know, Man from Nowhere and a few other those those fun action movies, and we highly recommend it. Click the link and go check it out. I think that's it. That's all. Summarizes our thoughts, and that ends another fine episode of Hallyujuku. Cass, what's going on in your world? online.
Not a goddamn thing. No, mainly just working on stuff to put stuff online. I spent some time cleaning today. I'm going to do some more of that so I can set up the actual studio space, which is over there, and hopefully be able to do more fucking things. Other than that, gearing up for Otakon. So we'll probably skip that that week, and there will be a show the following week after because fucking I'm not gonna be Somerset. I'm gonna be gone.
Turned up. Turn up for Otakon.
Yeah, but it'll be Otakon weekend. There will be a lot of pretty pictures on the DeviantArt. You can see more of that stuff. Alright, about.me/King Kaz and follow all the links and listen to all the other shows I do. Like this one and the other one. And future ones to come. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? You can follow him about.me/King Kaz. I'm about.me/PDRave. I'm, same old things. Follow the shows. If you want, I'm not saying it's going to be a constant thing, but if you want, you can follow me on Twitch at rebelli.tv. I think I might occasionally start streaming every once in a while, some games here and there, mostly probably Rogue Legacy, maybe do a little Skyrim. I don't know, whatever I enjoy playing, whatever is like my main games I enjoy. I can't promise you I'll be very entertaining, but I'll be there, and you can look at my face and you can watch me play a game.
The one thing I wanted to say to you when I saw that you were streaming earlier today, it is the best place in the world to practice your ramblings. And as we all know, this motherfucker can ramble, which is why I want to stream and do all those kind of things. And I'm going to do those things in the future because it is just the best place to sit and fucking ramble at a screen. Like, some people are better at it than others, but it's just one of those things. And I always kind of tell people who are new to that or whatever, just talk. Just talk. Don't look at the numbers. Don't worry about how many people are watching or listening like we do with this. I don't give a fuck. I'm essentially just talking to Petey. This is all that's really happening. Yeah. But it's a great place to work on that, to work on the solo conversation or whatever.
Yeah.
And then when people are watching, they're like, hey, this is an entertaining... I don't know who he's talking to, but god damn it if he isn't entertaining. And you sit and you tell stories about the game that you're playing, and sometimes you get mad, sometimes you get sad, sometimes... Mad and sad are basically essentially the same thing. It's just the one you throw things, the other you cry into things. Yes. And it's just one of those things that is a great practice in life if you want to be somebody who presents yourself in front of people. Is just get out there, record yourself doing something. And with the way that the world works now, you can do it in so many places. There's YouTube, there's Twitter, if you're better at the writing, which I'm not so good at. That's going to be a future thing to work on. And you work on your things out there too and enjoy East Asian pop culture. You didn't think I was going to end the show, didn't you? Bam! Did it.
Yes. Hallyujuku.com, kpoppodcast.com. You can follow the show at Hallyujuku. Rebelli.net for all the other shows. iTunes, Stitcher, all the other things. Subscribe, like, share, review. Until next time, hasta los huevos. Hi, Goat Herd.
Oh, also, we're actually going to start using the Twitter. I just said that, so that means it has to now be done.
Yes. You just declared it. Bye!